This pre-call process that I'm going to walk you guys through is the same process that I've used to help my clients hit consistent 10K days. Not one day hitting 3K, the next day hitting 5K, the next day hitting 1K, the next day hitting 10K by getting lucky, right? This is going to lead you to predictable revenue because we're implementing this pre-call process, right? And just to give you a little bit of background, I'm Jasmine Bridges. I've been in high ticket sales for about almost 3 years now. And over the years, I've partnered up with several business owners to where I built out their whole entire process and have worked in their sales team. Throughout that time, I realized like, hey, I have this skill set that I can actually help other business owners, but specifically, I want to help those who are just starting out that don't know exactly how to maneuver in this sales space or how to actually have leads and then get those leads to really convert and increase your rate, increase close rate, have real systems to where we leading to predictable revenue. That's what I do now. I work with online coaches and online service providers. But this is the exact thing that you can use and plug and play it into your business to help you out here. And this, once you use this process and implement it to your business immediately, I promise you, you will see an immediate shift and show rate and close rate specifically, but all around in your sales process and improving your cash collected every single day and helping you hit consistent, predictable revenue. All right. So why most sales calls fail before they even start? I'll tell you this, right? Sales calls, time people think the sales process actually starts when they get on the sales call, right? And that's not the truth. It's a myth, right? The sales process starts when they see your ad for the first time, when they see their piece of content for the first time. That's when the sales process starts. Because I'll tell you, they already have this preconceived notion of you once they first see your ad or once they first see your content, right? So you have to start, the buying process starts there. And why most sales calls fail before they even start, because they don't have the simple fundamentals that you need to have in the sales process. Once they click on that ad, what happens after that, right? So let's get into the 5 mistakes that I see. Number one, no real application, real qualification system. If you don't have a real process to where you're qualifying for seriousness, budget, time, I'll get into that in just a second, but if you're not qualifying for those things, you're going to be speaking to everyone and no one, right? Because you're never going to know who you're actually speaking to, who you're attracting to your marketing. You're never going to be able to refine your marketing because you think because you have a bunch of leads and a bunch of book calls that these are qualified leads. No, it's not, right? And I want you to get out of this mindset because once you shift, like, hey, okay, I'm actually not look at the data. The data, mentor told me, men lie, women lie, data doesn't lie, numbers don't lie. Right. And that's true. So you can think all day because you have a lot of book calls that you're actually, you're balling and you're successful. And because you might be making 20K a month, right? You think that's good, but it's not, because you're never going to be able to grow from that. So I don't want you to stay stagnant here, right? So you need to have a real application and a real qualification process. Number two, I see this is the most common one out of all of these touch points on here. Calendar is open 2 or 3 weeks out. Now, plenty of people aren't like me, right? But ask yourself, if you booked a call for 3 weeks out, if you booked a call to get help for something, right? 3 weeks out, are you going to remember that you booked that call? That's number one. Number two, are you going to have the same type of priority for in terms of it being important in your mind with it being 3 weeks out? Number three, are you going to have the same commitment to actually take that call at the same, like in terms of you being serious and taking that call as serious as you were 3 weeks before? You won't, right? Because you're going to lose that emotional buy-in. So your calendar being open 2 or 3 weeks out, what do you think is going to happen for your prospects? They're probably not going to show. They're not going to take it as serious because it's no longer a major priority for them, right? So that's pretty much that, right? Number three, no pre-call nurturing system, right? I see this happen all the time. If you have no pre-call nurturing system, they're going to lose their mindset of, dang, I need this. Dang, I need to lose weight. Dang, I need to better my business right now. Right? They're not going to have that same type of import. It's not going to register. On a scale of 1 to 10, they were at a freaking 11 or BMS or broke my scale. Now they're at a freaking 5. Now you got to work even harder on that freaking sales call because you didn't continuously nurture them before the call itself. Right? Or they might not even show up because they don't have the consistent touch points before the call. Number 4, this to me is very important. And this is something that a lot of times people will say, okay, my pre-call process is dialed in, but you're not getting them to make any type of micro commitments before the call. They're not watching any type of video before the call. They're not responding to any type of text to say that, hey, I did that, or I watched that, or I messed around with this. Because what do you think? And this is the psychology behind it. If they don't make even one micro commitment before the call, your likelihood of talking to a person that is able to make decisions on the call is dwindling, right? So the psychology behind this is if they can't even make one simple commitment before the call, they're probably not going to be able to give you a yes or a no on the actual call at the end of the call, right? So you want to have them actually have them prove to you that they can make some type of decision, that they are a decision maker, and that they can do that. Because I say this all the time, we are not life coaches. A sales call is not for us to be a life coach, right? We are trying to make it make sense to the client. And if we do everything properly before, the sales process should be easy. It shouldn't be too difficult. Of course, we'll have objections, but objections are just questions, are just fear-based questions. That's all they are. And as long as you reassure them, realign back to the main point, which is getting them freaking signed up for whatever you serve or whatever you do, right? That's the goal, right? Okay. Boom. That's number 4. Number 5 is no authority building before the call. And I see this all the time. This is what happens, right? If a person sees your ad, it's because they obviously were looking up how to get better at whatever, right? At losing weight, at bettering their business, whatever the case was, right? If you are not having multiple touch points to build up upon your authority before the call, they'll start to see other ads of the same thing. And then they'll be like, that person has so many more testimonials than the other person. That person is not really, it's not really, I actually think this other person's better. Or you might even get unlucky here and they saw your ad and say, okay, I like that person. But this other person has 3 million followers. Who are they really going to try to go with, right? And so this is all important. If you're having these different touch points before the call, trust me, it will strengthen your pre-call process, it will strengthen your show rate, and it will increase your close rate dramatically. So this is the fix. I know y'all are saying like, hey, okay, like cool. I know I'm missing. I probably am watching this video. I have about 2 or 3 of those things that I don't have. How do I fix that, Jasmine? Got you. That's why I'm here. All right. Number 1, 2-3 day calendar rule. Okay. That's what I was talking about when I was saying, a lot of us, when we're first starting a business, we don't have the calendar set up properly. We like to have, and I see this a lot of times with huge creators, right? They have it to, they're wondering why they're not getting people to show up. It's because you have your calendar so freaking booked out. Like, not so freaking booked out, but you have it to where people can book a call with you 5 days plus from now, or even the whole month. They're not going to show up for that call. They're not going to remember that call happened. So the reason why you do this, you do 2-3 days for a reason, right? So if I'm filming this video on Thursday, so that means my prospects can't book a call with me no later than Saturday. Saturday's the last day they can book a call with me. And what I do personally, right, is I'll have a section on my calendar description, which everyone should have. You should have a thorough calendar descriptions to where you walk people through, it increases the likelihood of them booking a call. You will see it. And I've split tested this time and time again. If you don't have a description, because I have Google Ad Analytics to track where people are dropping off on my, not Google Ad Analytics, but the Google Analytics to where it's tracking where people are dropping off on the page, right? And if they're dropping off from the moment that they opted in until they booked an appointment, it's probably because you don't have that description, because they're not continuously being nurtured, right? So you want to have that. So 2-3 day calendar rule. If it's anything more than that, they're probably not going to remember about the appointment. It's not going to be a priority for them, even if you try to get them to rebook, right? Or they probably will show up to the call driving or just distracted or whatever the case may be, right? 2-3 days out. It's the golden rule of thumb, right? No more than 40 to 72 hours. If you have the bandwidth for it. When I say bandwidth, I mean, if you have enough closers on your team for this, 2 days, right? 2 days is always the best. Same day, next day, because they're still excited about, I need this, or more excited about you as an individual, right? I need this from that person. That's what you want to do. Okay. Instant confirmation plus authority. 3 different things for this. First thing is, once they book a call with you, you need to have a confirmation message, email and SMS that gets sent out in the founder's voice. Whatever your persona is on social media, bring that same energy to that email and that SMS, right? Don't sit here and have something just automated, because it's like, okay, it works. Sorry, you can have automations all day. This whole process is automated, but adding in that personal touch, I'm telling you, just does something to people. It makes them feel like, I'm still being nurtured. It makes them feel still excited about the process. Even if you're a B2B, right? I'm simple, I'm chill. I don't really look at that stuff, right? If I know it makes sense, and I look for a few things and it makes sense, and then I'm good, right? But for this, most people aren't like that. This took me a while to understand. Most people are just not like that. They need the consistent nurturing. It's crazy, but they need it, right? People are not decisive as you would like them to be and as you think they are. So even the most sophisticated prospects, you think they're really decisive decisive, but they're really not. You have to walk them through it. Okay. So that's number one, have a confirmation metrics. Okay. After that, what I like to do is a 5 to 10 minute buffer. They get that first email. Then 5 to 10 minutes later, they get a pre-call explainer video. Now, probably in your VSL, you had it to where it's about maybe 2 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, depending on your offer sophistication. Okay. This pre-call explainer video needs to be 15 to 45 minutes. Nothing less, nothing more. It needs to walk through the entire offer. This is what I was talking about, those pre-call commitments, which I'll get into in a second a little bit more too. But this is what I was saying, right? The pre-call explainer video. They watched everything. And in this pre-call explainer video, you have case studies. You're walking them through how the entire process even looks like working with you. What does that process look like, right? You're getting down to all of the details of your entire process. Yes, this is what the sales calls is for, but if you have this, your job as a founder is to bring in your sales reps and to make it so easy for them to close because you want the most amount of cash collected every single day, right? So have this pre-call explainer video in there. Number 3, a daily case study leading up to the call, at bare minimum, 1 additional email every single day, bare minimum. What I do is, and what I suggest, right, after they get that founder's voice email, SMS, then 5 to 10 minutes later, they get the pre-call explainer video, right, to watch it. And then later on that day, or maybe let's say being technical, right, 12 hours later, they get their first case study. Let's say they put the call for Saturday on a Thursday, right? So I want to hit them with that first case study, and then 24 hours later, another case study, and then a few hours before the call, another case study. Do these things. They're probably not even gonna watch the other ones because they're gonna see like, hey, this person is actually legit, right? I'm still being nurtured. I'm still getting sent stuff. Boom, that's instant confirmation plus authority. You do those things, you're gonna see just these 2 things that I already walked through alone to fix the problems, right? You're gonna see a drastic change in your entire sales process. Okay. Next thing, triage before the closer and confirm, okay? In your application process, you need to have at least 3 things bare minimum. Clarifying for a timeline, clarifying for budget availability, and you're clarifying the seriousness level and the commitment of your prospect. Timeline meaning, when are they actually looking to go through this type of transformation that you offer? So, for example, right? If I am, because I hate how everyone says fitness coach. Let me think of a better one. If I am a business coach, no, put it this way, okay? If I'm a content marketing agency and I'm working with, let's say I'm working with doctors to get them more appointments maybe for their own practice, right? I'm getting like that. Okay, ideally, when would you like to start moving forward, getting more inbound leads for your own practice or something like that, right? And then I will have the options immediately within 1 to 2 weeks, within 2 to 4 weeks, within the next month. We're not letting those people that say within 30 days or the next month book a call. You're not taking this, your timeline is crazy because you saw my ad, you're not ready. Why would I want to speak to an already? It comes down to, I need to reframe your mind. I need to, no, that's not what we're doing here. Like, they need to be partially bought in. And then on the sales process, if they have any last minute questions, then we start to, objection handle, stuff like that. But talking to a person that says 30 days out, what are we doing? We send a free resource, or we have them join the free community. Or if you want to get really, really, down to the nitty gritty of it, maybe you have a setter call them and ask them why they said 30 days. And it's only aligns if they have the budget and they say they are extremely serious. Then it's like, okay, why is your timeline like that? Then you can question them and, have a triage setter, right? It depends on that conditional logic that you have set up. But that's number 1. Number 2, budget availability. If, again, I am a content marketing agency helping out doctors get more leads for their own practice, right? If I'm charging, let's say I'm charging $5K a month for this, I'm charging $5K a month. Okay. Do you have a budget? What's your budget? So you ask them, okay, how much liquid cash or how much do you have set aside for marketing for your private practice? And then from there, that's when I'll hit them with that under 1K. And maybe this is monthly, on a monthly basis. Under 1K, and then you have 1 to 2K, and then you have, let's say 35K, and then you have 5K plus or something like that. Okay, cool. You want to make it clear how much do you have either liquid cash, either on hand, words like that. That's really telling them like, hey, you need to have this cash. Meaning, if we get on the call, you have this cash, right? And then seriousness level. When we ask for seriousness level, we're asking basically for how serious or how ready are you to take your business to the next level, right? Or something like that, right? You're going to ask them for how serious they are, right? So you want to ask them for these three different things. And you can be very direct with this, or you can be a little bit indirect and get creative, right? But I like to ask questions more head on. That's just how I am. If you're a person that doesn't give that in your online presence, then you need to be a little bit indirect, casual with it. But I'm a person that's very much straightforward in my online presence. So it's like people know they expect that type of verbiage when they actually get to my application, right? And that's because that's the way I like to pre-frame everything, right? So that's that. Ask these questions, and then you're going to have a triage setter come in and verify this information. Triage setter, just for people that don't know, triage is another word for qualifying, right? So we're qualifying them a little bit more with a setter that's a call setter that's calling these people. So we're going to triage them even more, right, before they show up on the call with the closer, because this will let us know if they're BSing first, and then second, if they are matching everything they are saying. If the closer was to bring this up, then on the call, which depends on how your sales process is, but I don't recommend bringing up the market in dollars again unless you don't have that triage setter in place to do that. Then you can kind of verify the budget in the beginning, but I don't recommend doing that if you have everything set up before. That should be done with a triage setter to actually qualify and verify this. But that's that, right? So triage, have these questions in the application, at least bare minimum these types of questions, plus a little bit more depending on your offer, and then have a triage setter call them. If you don't have a triage setter, what I would say in this situation is you want to incentivize your closers to do these triaging before the actual call. So when we get the book calls come into our Slack workflow, okay, we got a new book call, okay, cool. Either the triage setter is going to call them within 5 minutes, or the closer is going to call them within 5 minutes. If you have your closer do it, which is only if you're making, or you're in your early stages, right? You can incentivize your closer and give them 2.5 extra percent at the bare minimum for them to actually triage their own calls plus close them. Don't let a closer do all this work because they're not going to be incentivized to do so. You want to always, this is a commission-based opportunity, right? So they want to be incentivized to do more work. Have that process in place. Okay. Pre-call commitments. These are those micro commitments I was talking about. So we need this in place because we want to only speak with people that can actually make decisions. Why are we speaking to kids? Why are we speaking to people that don't know how to make decisions for themselves? It doesn't make sense, right? So before the call, prospects should confirm, number one, they watch the videos. This tells people that, hey, I'm actually serious about what this life-changing opportunity. I'm actually serious about getting more leads for my practice because I struggle with getting leads for my practice, and I need a process that works and that converts. And content is the way to do it. And so I need this. And so how do we verify that they need this? Make sure that they watch the video, right? That way you're talking to someone serious. If they didn't watch the video, say, okay, it's okay. That's a requirement that we have. And like I said, you set that frame in your content from the front end about how you do business. They will respect you. You need to hold that frame from the very beginning. So they watch the videos. To make sure all decision makers will be present, you put that in the text message or you say that in your pre-call video because then they would have understood that, hey, I need to make sure decision makers will be present, right? So this is a spouse. This is how you also would decision maker objections in the call. With this, adding in this 2 and 3 that they're in this quiet location, I have avoided drivers. My closers have avoided drivers. My business owners that I've worked with have avoided drivers or people that just are shopping around and not taking the call serious. And we have avoided this whole decision maker objection. I need to talk to my spouse, I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to my freaking business partner. No, because they're going to be on this call. We're going to add them to the call because you saw the message and you watched a pre-call video when I went over this, right? And so when you do these things, you mitigate some of those issues that you're going to face, okay? Soft reminders. You need soft reminders before the call. And these are going to be manual on top of your automated reminders. You're going to have soft reminders. So automated reminders remind people to show up for the appointment. Okay, when they first book a call, okay, cool. Book a call with a reminder. You have 24 hours before your call. You have 3 hours before your call. You have 30 minutes. Okay, cool. Nice. Now what we're going to do is a message from the actual closer. And this is if you need this. Sometimes you don't need this, but a lot of times you do need this. This is going to be something that just takes it over the edge a little bit and just reels them in a little bit more, right? When they kind of get that first point of contact with the closer and who they're going to be speaking to on that call. So day before, you send them a message, right? It's like, hey, name, super excited for our call. Hey, name, this is the closer speaking. Hey, prospect, his prospect name is Jerry. Hey, Jerry, this is Jasmine from Soft Close Academy reaching out to you from Jasmine's at J Bridges Scales, let's say sales coaching mentorship. I saw that you just booked a call with us for blah, 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 whatever the date was. Super excited to speak to you. Okay, cool. That from there, that's the first message. And then that's like the day before, right? Morning of, happy Friday, Jerry. That's it. Next message, second message saying, are we still good to go for 2 p.m. Eastern today? Okay, cool. Nice. Now, at 1:30, see you in 30 minutes, Jerry. These are all soft reminders. Soft reminders because we want to have these things to actually just reinforce, like, hey, your call is coming up. Let's confirm. If you get a person, this doesn't really happen, but I've got it once out of the year of me using this entire process. So I've got it once. And with that being said, the person just goes like, I already know the call is coming up, right? Then at that point, okay, cool. I don't send anything else, right? But other than that, I'm going to send all of these stuff. They're not going to get annoyed. If they ghost, this is something that I see happens, right? They ghost because they're like, oh, didn't know the call was whatever. They ghost and then they actually show up, which is weird. I see some people do that, but or they just ghost and don't respond with you at all, right? Or they don't show up for the call and not letting you know why they didn't show up for the call. Okay, cool. We have a solution for that. Of course, we got a solution for that. Of course, right? Number one, we're gonna double dial them. If they don't answer the double dial, okay, we'll double dial them again later, right? If they don't answer that double dial, okay, cool. And this can be your setter, or for that when you mark off the no-show in your pipeline, right? Or this can be the closer. Just depends on how hungry the closer is. If I'm the closer, I'm double dialing them in the morning and the night because I want to book a call again if the setter isn't doing that. But my setters are hungry as well. So I'm probably hungrier and want the closer to focus on the actual calls themselves, right? And collect cash. But again, this really just depends, right? So double dial. If they don't answer that, okay. The next day, send a humor, send a GIF, right? Send a GIF message, like whatever these freaking memes, right? Send a freaking meme that aligns with the company, right? And if you're a good business owner, you'll already have the GIFs and templatized in like maybe a document somewhere, so that way the closer can just copy and paste it and send it. Number three, if this stuff doesn't work, which 6 out of 10 it does work, send a founder video addressing them ghosting. This is from you. So I'm talking about, hey, I just saw you ghosted. You just ghosted us. It's crazy because I'm not used to getting ghosted. I've never even got ghosted in my dating life. But I completely understand. Maybe something happened. Maybe you're just too busy, right? And then your closers are sending a message saying, hey, I know we didn't get a chance to speak on whatever day, but Jasmine wanted me to send you this quick video, right? Boom. And you are doing all of this through either the closer's personal iPhone, which is only if you're really, really, you don't want to use other different things, or you're using SymBlue or some type of blue messaging that you can connect to your CRM, right? That way you can have it to where it's sending blue messages. So you need that, okay? Now, results from using this system. Hold on, because that was a lot of sauce right there. I know people aren't talking about how to get people to go. I get it. But look, we're gonna move forward, okay? Results from using this system. Sure rate has increased from literally 20%. Crazy work that this system has done for some businesses. And then some businesses just had to go from 60 to 80. But look, 20% all the way up into 80% plus. 80% plus all across the board. Close rate has jumped to 40%, right? Well, maybe it was 10%, maybe it was 20%, depending on the offers I was working. But the close rates have jumped to 40% plus all across the board. The biggest thing about this are these last two things. Call time cut in half. If call times are cut in half from 60 to 30 minutes, what are we allowed to do there? We're allowed to book more calls, which means more money, right? And we like that. I know we love that, right? So call time cut in half and revenue increased significantly because now you have more people showing, which leads you to more people to talk to, more opportunity. Now you have more closes, so that's more cash collected. Now you have call time cut in half, so you have more book calls, so that's more opportunity again. So what is that going to do to your cash collected? It's going to increase it, which is why we have consistent 10K plus days, right? Now, if you want a checklist to actually take and be like, hey, okay, let me go through my pre-call process. Let me just check off what I have and see what I don't have. Click the link down below. There's a free pre-call SOP checklist for you all to actually implement to your business right now. So you watch the entire video. Now you know exactly what I was talking about. You took your notes, whatever, right? Now just take this checklist, apply it, and use it so you can actually grow and have those 10K plus consistent days, right? Now, if you are a real action taker and you're like, dang, this was great, but this is just one piece of the pie. I need the whole thing. If you want help implementing this and you're an online coach or service provider doing around 10K to 50K per month, because if you're more than that, you just need a little bit of refinement. I can still help you out, right? But for less than that, you're probably just not ready for everything that I have to offer. But still hit me up, right? I probably can still help you. So if you're an online coaching service provider doing around 10K to 50K per month, and you want help building your sales systems, team structure, and operations to have predictable revenue through these sales systems, through the sales team, the whole 9 yards, there's nothing that I don't offer. That's exactly what I help clients do, right? I have one-on-one coaching, and I have done for you implementation and complete system build out for you to where I can help you grow and scale within 90 days. That's it, right? Or a lot of times even less. So let's go. If this is you and you're a chicken, go ahead, swipe down below. I have a quick application, fill it out, right? And I'll hop on a call with you, myself, or one of my team members that I trust I trust them, right? That's the whole point of it, right? So we'll help you out here. I want to help you out. I hope this helped. Well, I know it helps, right? Take it, implement it, get to it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.